Oh man, I think I got a purple heart for the show today, y'all. Woo! Anyway, Alabama's second scrimmage is in the book. Coach Oaks has replenished his bench already. And tonight, basketball crowns a champion. Or should I use the word labels a champion? Let's talk about it right here around the herd. And welcome to Around the Herd. Roll Tide, Alabama fans. Welcome to Tight Sports. This is the Alabama Football Megacast and the People's Crimson Tide Network. Thank you for joining me on whichever virtual space you chose. Thank you for come on in. Just come on in. We got a lot to talk about. We know a big game's coming up. Here on Tight Sports, we talk Alabama all day, any day, in any sport where the Crimson Tide can get some shine. Here on Tight Sports, we always say that the Crimson Tide is in title run mode, and I have evidence of that at this very moment. At this very moment. So in every beginning of once, a non-Tide story will get thrown around for people to ponder. You know, something may come up. Like the other day, I thought to myself, watching the ladies' championship, I wanted to know if there were laser beams coming out of Dawn Staley's eyes. I wonder whose head would just fall to the floor first. Would it be one of the referees or one of them players in her front court? Because, I mean, it's just, let me know what you think in the comments, because it was pretty ugly. They got dismantled last night. And the haters, come on in. Take notes. Behave yourself. You just might learn something. Give a brother a pound on the way in and put a pound of pressure on that subscribe button. That's what I need you to do. Just go ahead and settle in, hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the notifications, and come on in. And if I am able to successfully stimulate the happy juice in your gray matter and make your funny bone jiggle, let me know by poking that like right in the eye. Got to get it right there. It's center of left. It's left of center, I should say. It's left of center. Anyway, I have more to say about the big basketball games from this weekend, but first, as you know, it's a principle here on Tight Sports that the ladies of the Crimson Tide are always respected and never neglected. Congratulations are in order. Congratulations are definitely in order. Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Congratulations are in order to the Gym Tide as they advance to the NCAA championship with a season high score against Florida. At least somebody right here representing the school. But they had a strong showing at the regionals. It was at home. They were trailing California midway at the midway point, but somebody got the season's best score on the beam to put the Tide ahead, to get them to, the Elite Eight. I won't bore you with the scoring. Well, maybe I will. They basically won by 0.1 of a point over Cal. And Florida would be going as well. They took first place in the regionals, but now the Gym Tide, the ladies of the Crimson Tide, will be moving on to the NCAA championships in Fort Worth. Well, we should get some love down there because that should now be SEC country. So there you go. So the guys get kicked out of one Elite Eight, and the ladies make their way into another. That's how we do it. Moving forward, we want to break down the second scrimmage of the year for the football team, which happened this past Friday. There were a lot of comments about it from the media in general, but mainly from Coach DeBoer. Those are the comments I want to pay attention to. But earlier this year, it was revealed that the leadership council of the team had been set, and the members are Caden Proctor, left tackle, LT Overton, just call him quarterback assassin, Q Russo, just all-around hellraiser, Tim Keelan, who is a defensive tackle extraordinaire, and Ty Simpson. So congratulations to those guys. They have been tapped on the shoulder to be the leadership council for this year. I don't know if that's necessarily the same as the team captain, but it sure seems like it is. And that happened in January, so the council could be reduced to captains going forward, but Ty Simpson is in a good place. Going over Coach DeBoer's comments from after the second scrimmage, he let us know that tight ends are kind of beat up right now. Marshall Pritchard, who just transferred, is down for the spring. Danny Lewis has always been out, and Cuevas has been hurt as well, which is a bummer because they want to have a strong group going into the fall, and we need them to get healthy for the fall. So getting beat up in the spring is not what we want to do, which is kind of interesting because I know Coach Prime, and he could survive this. Coach Prime wants to have a scrimmage against another team in the spring, but then what if your team was just your coach is on a proverbial hot seat, or people are just undecided, and you go out there against, let's say if Alabama played Syracuse, and then we didn't look like we were dominating Syracuse in April, and you add to the pressure of being an SEC coach, being a returning national championship coach, being a returning playoff bound coach, and then like you get added pressure when you don't need it. No, thank you, Coach Prime. We are okay. Or people start adding pressure to your players. I don't know. Ty don't like he the man. He don't like the man to me. That fourth string boy who we wasn't even talking about, he looked pretty good out there against Syracuse in that scrimmage. Folks, you got to think about those things. I do think one day we're going to get to a point in Alabama where we'll really everywhere, where they will play that spring game in June after the portal closes, so nobody got to worry about people running off. I'm dealing with it. I'm playing injured today, folks. I cut myself a little bit, just a little bit. Got me in the crease of the side of my no thank you finger. Got me in here bleeding, so I'm gonna get a Purple Heart from Tight Sports Management today. Anyway, the QB battle, we all know how that's going. We got Ty Simpson is in the lead right now. What's up, Huggy? Thank you for checking in. Got Ty Simpson is out there getting most of the snaps with Austin Mack with the 1s and 2s. Keelan Russell, our tremendous future, is taking a lot more reps with the 2s. That is that's a development. And Coach wanted everybody to know that Austin and Ty have done a good job of embracing the playbook, and that with our strong wide receivers, I mean, we got a real strong wide receiver core. I'm not gonna say it's the best in nothing. I just let it play out on the field. but we have a very strong wide receiver core, mainly because we imported half of it. And the board says that they can be found on the field by any quarterback out there, any of the three quarterbacks. And so a reporter asked, how was the former Miami wide receiver doing at blocking drills, talking about Isaiah Horton. Isaiah Horton is 6'4", 205 pounds. And maybe he didn't have a want to block as much because he probably didn't get a lot of balls thrown to him as much as other guys. We don't know what it was all about. We just hope he leave that stuff down there at the bottom. That's Miami. For folks that don't know, they call it the bottom sometimes. But they say he's picking up on blocking well. Say he's learned. He has the will to learn, and more importantly, they say he has want to. Another group where everything's looking pretty good is the running back room. You know, we kind of know where 1 and 2 is going to be. Number 2 is looking like Richard Young behind Jam Miller since we had a departure to Michigan. See you later. Hope you have a nice one. But Richard Young, you may not have seen him that much because he got beat up a little bit last year, was hurt. He was our third guy, but we didn't run the ball that much anyway. But he's physical. He's a physical runner, and he's healing up. But he said all of our running backs in that room are able to press the hole. There's a battle for the third. There's a junior that we transferred in named Draylon Washington. He's a redshirt junior, but they say he's having to step up his game. Everything he's ever known about football is changing right now because now he's at the University of Alabama as opposed to the University of Louisiana. So he's stepping up. He's doing well. But like I said, it's going to be a real battle to see who the third back is. And I think that third back is going to play. Because what more importantly, in this offense that the boy has, it's versatility. That's like the third thing they want out of everybody, out of this offense. They want to be able to do, versatility. But the number one thing they want to be is aggressive. If they want to pass the ball, they want to be able to pass the ball. If they want to run the ball, they really don't care if you know it. They don't care if you know it's coming. So he's learning to step up. Everybody's learning to step up. And another injury we have right now, and this is a theme of the board's whole spring. He don't care about the injuries as much right now. A lot of people in the DB room, they had injuries that carried over from the season. So he's just letting them sit because we need them healthy in the fall. Forget the spring. We can build depth in the spring. We kind of know who your starters are. But if the starter's not as healthy as you want them to be, then you got to have depth. Hollywood did not scrimmage on Friday. He's going to rest for the rest of the spring. He's hampered by a nagging injury, and he just needs to rest. But Jeremy, Bernard, and Isaiah can do all the same routes. All the receivers, all of the tight ends have to be versatile to get on the field this year. That means you must be able to block. You must be able to run your routes. You got to be able to block. I want to say it again. You got to be able to block. You got to be able to run the routes. They even want to take the tight ends and put them in at different receiver spots. We're going to see more out of this offense this year. At least that's the expectation. I expect that with Ryan Grubb's experience anyway. I expect that anyway. So the defensive back progress is that Ken Saab is getting healthy. No, he broke his foot last year or broke a bone in his foot last year. But the young guys are not playing like they're young. They are playing with discipline and skill, and that's what we need. The DB room was considered to be thin last year, but they played relatively well, as we did come in number 4 in football in turnovers. Our passing was pretty much above average passing yards per game. It was a run game that gave us the problem. But the coach that stated that he expected this to be the strongest group headed into the fall. And that's good. Somebody got to be strong. I wish he could say it was offensive line room, but, we still working there. The corners and the safeties they are seeking out the balls. They're making their reads. And they're hunting. They hunting out there. And he also gave kudos to Coach Jason Jones, and Mo Lindquist is working cohesively to build that unit into a very strong backfield going for the 2025 season. Our area of concern is our linebackers due to injuries and the inability to practice. Now, the experience will improve as the health improves, but there are 3 freshman linebackers out there making waves. Abdul Sanders, Duke Johnson, Justin Hill, Quay Russo and Deontay Lawson are great mentors, and they're geeking them guys up. They put them in the right position. They cheering them on. But in summary, I just want to say that if you play the Crimson Tide this fall, just watch out for them, or you're just gonna get hit by a stampede. Shh, don't tell nobody. But this is gonna be a big year for the Crimson Tide. Now let me just step over to the Final Four weekend. Coach Don Staley was hotter than a 38 special in a pawn shop with no business license. You hear me? After that post-game presser, that girl that woman, she looked, this reporter was asking how she feel about this loss and how does it feel? How does it feel, Coach? Like he was trying to egg on, kind of same thing they did with Kim Mulkey. And instead of like Kim Mulkey, she kind of lashed out at the reporter. Dawn got to a point, she was looking like she was just like, her face was like she had vengeance on her face. Kind of the same way Coach Saban looked after that Florida loss to Tebow. It's like, both of them had that look on their face like they wanted to just remember when Trey got out of the car in Boys in the Hood? And then, he's like, Doe, let me out. Well, Saban and Don said like they wanted to get in the car. They wanted to ride on somebody. They had vengeance on the brain. But anyway, they asked the question of Don, how do you feel about this? She looked straight into the camera and said, they beat our ass and did not make us like it. That means not only am I kicking your butt, but I'm going to make sure you don't enjoy none of this. Like, oh, yeah, I see how they did that. You don't learn that. You're going to come out destroyed. And it looked that way. They've been struggling. It was tough. She had faults all season, just like Alabama and Coach Oates. They had turnover problems. They get streaky shooting. Everybody got their problems. But when you face a top-tier team, like a UConn, they can take a subtle flaw and turn it into a gaping hole. And with that, them Gamecocks were cut open and left to bleed out on national television. As for the men, I'm going to just say it like this, say how I feel. The fix was in. That's how I feel. I watched the game. I watched plenty of these games, and I don't like what I saw. Now, the referees in the men games, they allowed the loser of the game to dominate 75% of the game. Just do what you want to do. You want to slap somebody? Slap. You want to hit somebody in the elbow when they're trying to dunk and they fall over and almost break their neck? Fine. Now, I'm going to look at the Duke game real quick. Now, I saw the same things in the Auburn game, but I won't waste time trying to defend Auburn. No one cares if they were robbed. Plus, I don't like Bruce Pearl and his War Tigers. I don't like none of them. Now, Duke, I absolutely freaking hate. Trust me when I say this. I wish them failure in all things except one area, and that is medical research at the Duke University Medical Research Facilities there in Durham, North Carolina, wherever they are located. I don't care. But when I'm flipping through channels and I see Duke playing a lacrosse game against Lehigh, for those 2 seconds, I'm like, let's go, Lehigh. I'm all in. Let's go, Lehigh. Get it done. So I don't like Duke. But that game, I saw them hacks dropping elbows, shooting to the ribs, grabbing people's jersey, doing whatever he wanted to do for a long time. I mean, it was just like watching one of them old school Batman TV shows. If you remember the old ones, when they slap somebody, be like, pow, slam, smack, crack, whack when they were fighting. It was really corny, but hey, it was coming out of the 70s. We didn't have that technology you guys have today, that you enjoy today. But it's not my first rundown with old March Madness manipulation. I've long had an issue with these games because I just got turned off for about two decades after I lost either $10, $20 back in 1991 on that Duke game versus UNLV. Now, y'all may think it's me. I'm just making stuff. Oh, he's just conspiracy theories. Listen. Michael Rosenberg wrote an article in 2010 that talks about conspiracy theories in sports. Now, the reason that it's on this list because it was real murky. Okay, the reason he has on here in his article, I don't agree with all of them. There's conspiracy thought that UNLV fixed the game so that they would lose against Duke. Now, I'm going to read this. They felt that, UNLV did it, or some part of the UNLV did it. I don't agree with that point because it didn't do nothing about UNLV. And he wrote this. He said, while people believe UNLV was the defending champion, had not lost all season, and had humiliated Duke in the title game the year before, also UNLV was an NCAA's all-time renegade program by reputation. Okay, couldn't have been worse than the University of Brooklyn. Y'all ever heard of them? Go look them up. And several rebels were photographed in a hot tub with a man named Richie the Fixer Perry. Now, do you think Richie was out here giving out photographs and money? That don't make sense in Vegas. You can go to prison or worse in Vegas for such actions. Now, we repeat this. Richie the Fixer Perry, not Richie. This is quote him. Richie, not Richie play hard and try to win, fellas, Perry. But he said, okay, you get it. But upon further review, he said that it was like a 1 out of 10 when they thought how believable this was. And the 1 was only because anything was possible with UNLV. Now, they talked all this stuff about their coach, Jerry Tarkanian. The NCAA tried to say he was dirty. They made up something that got him fired. He sued they bud and won $2.5 million about 2 years after 1992 when he was run off, 92 or 93. Now, I say I don't think they did this because there was nothing in it for the players to get caught cheating and none of that stuff. This article even says that the players at Duke were even more talented than the players at UNLV. And I'm like, I don't think Bobby Hurley and Greg Anthony were on the same level. Now, he said when he went, if Bobby Hurley wouldn't have had a car accident and went to the pros, he's saying he would have had just as good a career as Greg Anthony. I'm sorry, I don't believe that at all. What other Duke guard that went in and did more than the coach of the Lakers did? Stand in the corner and just shoot. Grant Hill was on that team. He was the man that carried that team. But you got Grant Hill. Then you got Larry Johnson. Grandmama. He did pretty good. Now, for some reason, they compare Christian Laettner to Altman, Stacey Altman, saying that he was a better pro than Stacey Altman. You can go look up the doggone stats or the years they played. They was in the league for a long time. I don't think anybody would have been mad to keep them. I don't think nobody kept them around the league for that long for nothing, being Stacey Altman. Christian Laettner, I remember everybody saying, oh, he ain't what he was in college. That's what I remember. And like I said, Bobby Hurley, Greg Anthony. And at the time, they also had one player from Duke had a player from Mobile. I can't think of his name. And I remember Anderson Hunt. He did not work out in the NBA, but let me tell you something. Anderson Hunt in college was deadly. They were grown men playing against boys. And the way they lost that game, just go dig into that. Just go look up that game. It's been other games that kind of fishy, but Duke at that time, they were just young. They had been there, whatever, but the way they won was like the fouls kept it close to me. So anyway, so I don't want to get into all that. Anywho, the Cougars and Gators will tip shortly, and all I have to say is go Gators. That's right. Tite is sickly loyal to the SEC. Yeah, that's right. I ain't got nothing against the Gators, and I'm kind of pissed at the Houston officials, University of Houston officials, because Akeem, the Dream, Olajuwon was not allowed on the floor after they won their game. After they beat Duke, they like, yeah, man, hey, buddy, get back. This is a 2-time Houston legend, folks. A Cougar and a Rocket. 3 times in the Final Four. 2 times NBA championship. That still lives in Houston. And they up there, we don't know who you are, 6'10", 6'11", man. Go sit down somewhere, old guy. And I just think that kind of karma has to be repaid. You got to be returned some kind of way. So, to me, the hell with them Cougars, go Gators. Plus, my cousin, Reggie, is a Gator fan, and I like to see my cousins happy. Back to the capstone. Coach Oates, I don't know how he did it. I mean, been out there working. Even between all of the, being in the tournament, doing pretty good for Alabama. and tearing up 50-11 job offers. So he got a couple job offers we know of, above board that we knew about. Coach Oates, hold on. Coach Oates was able to add 6 weapons to his arsenal over the spring. I mean, he got some guys coming in from the high school ranks. You got London Jemison, Davion Hannah, and Amari Allen. London Jemison is supposed to be coming in from South Thomas More. That sounds like probably a prep school or academy up in West Hartford, Connecticut. He's a point forward, 6'8", 195. Davion Hannah is from Link Academy in Glendale, Wisconsin. All right, Huggy, I know you got to run over there to Nick's channel. I'll be over there after this with cold beverages. Appreciate you dropping by. Davion is 6'4", 180 pounds, CG. I think that's a center guard, or is that a central guard, or a converted guard? I don't know what CG is. I saw somebody was a PC, a point center. He was 7 feet tall. I was like, not in college. You won't be? No, not in college. No, it's not gonna happen. But I don't know nothing about basketball. Jemison is a 4-star, and so is Hannah. And Amari Allen comes to us from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm gonna try to pronounce the name of this school he went to. It's Ashwaubenon. Ashwaubenon. Probably an academy up there. He's a small forward. Well, it could be a shooting forward, but small forward, 6'7", 180, 4-star as well. I'll probably go in depth on those guys later once you get together some film and we get closer to their actually getting in school, because these guys can change their mind between May or June or whatever. I'm gonna take my time on giving too much information from them. But when you look at the portal, fresh out of the portal, Coach Oates has added experience and ability. Noah Williamson, center, 7 feet tall, 250 pounds. Man, he's going to be he did a postgraduate season at St. Thomas More. I guess that's a prep school. I guess that's what that is, in Connecticut. But he played out of a gym from Latvia. I'm confused. I'm so confused. Analysts see him as raw but a promising talent, rebounding ability, defensive potential. I don't even know how he's coming in. He's coming out of Bucknell. That's not exactly it's a smaller school. And so he had a breakout season in his sophomore season, averaging 12 and 6. I like that. How many blocks he got? The junior year, he was 17 and 7.5, 1 block per game. So that's good. We got some defense coming out of him. And he's a Patriot League Player of the Year. Yeah, okay. So that means something. So he coming to finish up with us. I hope he has 2 years and not just one. Shooting 53.8% from the field. 3-point shooting of 32% in his junior season. I need you down by the backboard, son. I need you dunking. I don't need you. It's nice that you can shoot that, but hey, maybe you don't shoot that, man. I gotta look at the numbers. He was an all defensive team in the Patriot League as well, able to protect the rim, transferring, bringing his size and skill set to Alabama. They believe his inside out game and defensive presence would be valuable for the roster. Man, this man came from Latvia, y'all. Latvia. Wow. I hate it for Bucknell, but that's the thing, man. I heard a HBCU football coach said, man, we're becoming glorified JUCOs. Anybody get any shine at HBCU and they're gone. That's the nature. That's the same for a Troy. That's the same for a Bowling Green. You let somebody mess around and get 5 interceptions on the season at Bowling Green, or some defensive lineman is a sophomore you don't let get on the field, and that dude end up with 13 sacks. It's too much money for him to stay there. So that's everybody's problem. Just, stating the obvious. But the analysts think that he's going to be able to contribute at a high level in the SEC. And they say he'll be a valuable asset for the capstone. The next person we had coming in, got to see where he's coming in from Miami. And Miami going to get tired of us after Isaiah Horton. They be like, man, Why do people keep coming to our school? Because don't nobody want to be there for real. Anyway, Jaleel Bethea, shooting guard, 6'6", 185. That's good because if follow us, they'd be 6'6", 6'4". That's nice. He played at Archbishop Wood, and like I say, he's coming in from Miami. When he came out of school, he was a 4-star, and it's funny, like people be 4-star on maybe one of the 4 major recruiting services. He's now a 4-star in the portal. He's a 4-star player in the portal. Let's find out some more about Mr. Bethea. Woo! Let's see. Archbishop Wood is a high school up here in Pennsylvania. Became a first-team McDonald's All-American. Number 6 prospect in his recruiting class. Pennsylvania Gatorade Player of the Year. Philadelphia Catholic League MVP. Led his team to a state championship. State semifinal. Averaging 22, 7, and 3. The 6'6" for a guard. That's really good. They praise his dynamic scoring ability, versatility, and 3-level scoring potential. 3-level. Here, mid-range, down low. Great. Shooting efficiency is pretty high. And he has the ability to create plays, which made him one of the most sought-after recruits when he came out of school. Now, in his freshman season at Miami, he scored 7 and 2, 1 assist per game. Miami was struggling. He showed flashes in scoring ability, especially against games against Syracuse and VTech. Plus, you ain't getting no shine. Nobody watching them games. Miami versus Syracuse. If they ain't playing football or really baseball, I don't want to see it. Not even baseball. Maybe softball. They say he faced challenges on the defensive end, but demonstrated improvement. Hey, let me tell you something. Scoring is great. Defense is an imperative for Coach Oates right now, but we just need people who can bang when it gets tough down there. It's because it's going to get tough. So he transferred to Alabama. He's going to be playing with some talented people. You already see the other transfers. The third guy is going to really blow you away. And they say that the system that Coach Oates has is made for Mr. Bethea's skill set. They say he has dedication to his craft. He has a younger brother named Salem. See, I was just telling my son this the other day. I said, sometimes people get recruited. If you remember the Ndichi brothers, they got the older brother to go to Ole Miss. And everybody's like, well, he ain't that good, is he? Yeah, but his brother is 2 years behind him. And his brother was a beast from like his sophomore season. So anyway, maybe this has had something to do with that as well. Because his brother, maybe we're trying to get his brother down there too in a year or so. I don't know how young he is. Could be 4 years from now. Shooting efficiency. At Miami, he was 36% from the field. Not outstanding, but 32% from three-point range. That's pretty good. He has the ability to score in various situations. That remains a highlight of his game. They say he's a playmaker and a dynamic scorer, but we need somebody to play defense. I ain't even gonna lie. You come out here scoring. I mean, we got this. Mark Series led the tie for 2 years, broke all kind of rules. I mean, not rules, but records. Inconsistent at times. It's always against the tougher teams. Anyway, staying positive. The third player they brought in is Taylor Bowen. That's B-O-L Bowen. And he comes out of Vermont. I'm not sure if that's directly. He came out of Brewster Academy. Man, it's hard to come out of regular high school and get these big time scholarships. Golly, Brewster Academy. I never heard of him. I used to be like, I remember Oak Hill Preparatory School or Academy out of Mount Wilson, Virginia. They have produced more NBA draft picks than I think any secondary school ever. Like 30, 39, something crazy like that. Now you got these academies all over the place. Every state got like 2 or 3 of them. Anyway, it's a prestigious basketball program. He was a 4-star coming out of high school. He was noted for his versatility, defensive skills, and rapidly improving offensive game. Good. Athleticism, length, ability to thrive. Oh, I guess I should have told you he's a shooting forward, 6'9", 195 pounds. and he comes to us from Florida State. Hey, we're going to bring him right back for a visit in the fall as we thump y'all upside y'all head. Anyway, he's praised for his fluid strides, mobility, potential to develop into a top-tier player. Played 2 seasons at Florida as a freshman. He averaged 3 and 2. Not a lot. Sophomore year, had a 40% increase in his scoring at 8 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks. Florida State, matter of fact, since y'all got 5 of our players, y'all owe us 1 at least. So calm down over there. His shooting percentages were impressive. 41% from 3-point range. God. 78% from the free throw line. We need to get that up to the high 80s during his sophomore season. He's 7 feet tall. Was he 6'9"? What did I say, 6'9" or 16? He's 6'9", but his wingspan is 7'2". Yeah. That man can stand attention and scratch the side of his knees. Make him a valuable asset. Oh, yeah, rebounding and protection, Transferring to Alabama, expect to have a big, significant role in the front court. You ain't lying because Amari is gone, Nelson is gone, and I think everybody else is like freshmen. So he'll probably be more experienced than the people that we got coming up off the bench, which gives us some depth in there. So they believe that he has adaptability and offensive skills will enhance our roster. His background. So he grew up as a refugee and his upbringing in Vermont, I guess a refugee from one of the countries in Africa. It doesn't say which one. But being that he did come up in a difficult situation, it increased and instilled in him a strong work ethic and resilience, which has been a key to his success. He's continuing to improve and to contribute as a stretch forward. Oh, is that what the SF stands for? Stretch forward. Does that mean he's either a power forward or a center? Makes more sense reading this. So he has the readiness to compete at a high level. Well, roll tide to you, gents. Welcome to the capstone. Hopefully these guys can not only ball, but ball hard when things get extremely physical on the hard courts. We need folks that can drop the same points, nab the same rebounds or boards, and apply the same pressure when the elbows are sharper than you thought they were going to be, and when the refs start to swallow their whistle. Like, I don't know what my whistle is. So when it gets tough, you still got to perform. Now, with that, let us take a bathroom break, go grab us a few cold ones, and see who will persevere to add their name to the record as champion. And more importantly, who would add their name to the worst title in sports, and that is that of winner up. Hey, folks, please remember to join me on Wednesday where I hook up with my buddy DC from Iron Bowl Debates, where, we debate anything. Ford or Chevy, renting versus ownership, which city should lose their NFL team, which will be strategically relocated between the cities of Birmingham and Huntsville, Alabama. Is it Jacksonville? Is it Arizona? Maybe it's the Jets. I don't know. Chime in. You just tell us. 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. Add a pound of pressure to that subscribe button and hit that notification button so you'll know when we go live, and I can relay you all this Alabama sports that you need to hear. Tell your friends they can find me on YouTube, Blue Sky, Facebook as Tight Sports. And you can find me at Tight Sports Talk out there on the Badlands of Twitter. Lord, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to take being out there. Just want to say shout out to Sharpshooters Podcast, Roll Tide to you. Peace to the brothers over there at Auburn Addicts. Water Cooler Podcast, Bubba and the Old Man. They are a fine group of Auburn Americans. Well, until next week at 7 p.m., we'll see you next time right here around the herd. And you know how we do it around here. Always remember, roll, tide, roll.